Alright, this is just a quick little behind the scenes of how I did the Joker makeup for the Dark Knight recreation video, and also how I do a Hellboy makeup job. But starting off with the Joker, the first thing I had to do for the Joker, that was the hardest thing to figure out, was how to do the scars. I looked through some old Halloween supplies I had and found some nose putty. It's basically like a putty for skin, and you can shape it and mold it. And so I formed those into scars. And then I use what is called a face adhesive. It's basically like a kind of like Elmer's glue, that white sticky pasty glue, but it's for the face, and you just put whatever on that and it comes off really easily. I use that to put the scars on. For the eye and mouth makeup, it's just basic black and red face paint. Just went to Walmart, got some cheap stuff. That's all pretty straightforward. And you probably can't even tell in the video because of my camera quality, but I did put green into my hair, and for that I just took some of the green face paint, put it on the comb, and then just ran it through my hair, and it looks pretty good in some of the still shots you can see. But then for the white on the face, it wasn't face paint, it was actually flour. I wetted my face down a little bit before, and then I would take some powder on my fingers and just pat it on, and it really gave it that matted, kind of patchy, and imperfect, a little rough around the edges where it goes around the eyes, and it just worked really well. And that's pretty much how I did the Joker. But then it was a couple days after I did this Dark Knight recreation that I wondered about some other ideas that I might not be able to do makeup for, and I decided that Hellboy was one that I could potentially do. But in order to understand some of the things I do for Hellboy, I'll tell you how I did. When I did James Gordon in the Dark Knight video, you notice he has a mustache, and how I did that is I just took some of the face adhesive, put it on my upper lip, cut little short bits of hair off of my head, and then just stuck those on, trimmed them a little bit, and it ends up looking pretty real in the end on video. I started with the horn stumps, and for those I took some cardboard, cut them into circles, stacked them on top, glued them together, and then I covered that with a layer of the nose putty and gave it that kind of rocky bone texture. And then I glued those with the face adhesive onto my forehead. The next step after that was to do some of the facial hair. Just started with the little soul patch on the chin. That was pretty easy. The sideburns on the side were a lot more difficult, and now that I look at it after it's done, I probably should have put a lot more hair on the sideburns because they should be a lot thicker than that, but still it looks pretty good. After putting all the hair on, then came the job of simply painting my face everywhere red, just using the red face paint. And it was a pretty time-consuming process. It took well over half an hour just to do the painting. It was really hard to get it under the hair where it was really close to the hairline, because you could see my flesh colored under the hairline right at the edge, so I had to dig in deep by the bases of the hairs to get that. And that's about it for how I did for all those. So basically it all comes down to, if you want to do some Joker makeup, all you need is some face paint, flour, face putty, and face adhesive. You want to do a Hellboy, and it's pretty easy. I mean, super cheap, just a few things you need to make it. For time overall, the Joker makeup took me about 50 minutes to do. For the Hellboy makeup, that one probably took about an hour and 15 minutes to do, doing it all by myself for both of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and good luck to anyone else out there who's trying to experiment with makeup. It's pretty fun, and you can get some pretty good results if you try hard enough. Experiment and have fun.